I was not expecting to see this train station this busy before we've even developed anything in this area. Well, I'm going to take this as a good omen. Today I'm building a dementia village for those in our city who have diseases like Alzheimer's. I'm building a giant 55 plus park for all of our retirees. I'm building a school for disadvantaged youth, this beautiful little park, and it all starts with this train station. If you have randomly found yourself on this channel because you're binging the 5B1C series, welcome. My name is Joy. I build pedestrian-friendly cities in city skylines. I hope you enjoy this episode. So public transit is going to be important in this area. We want a way for people to easily get to this new development. So it didn't make sense to bring the trams from the neighborhood straight across the highway from us. It also didn't make sense to bring the metro out here, at least not at this point, but the train tracks are right here, which is perfect. So I'm going to bring in a train station. I'm going to use the historical train station that we got in the DLC recently. I love this train station. I mean, look at how cute this is. All right, let's bring in some water pipes. Okay, I want a nice chunky road with trees. I like this road with the medium. I feel like that will help facilitate neat and tidy traffic movements as well. Okay, and then right in front of the train station, I don't want this road. I actually don't want any trees at all. Yeah. Now this is starting to look really nice. Let's see, what if we did the small bushes? Yeah, look at that. Now we're cooking. Okay, let's get some parking in here. Little bit of path action and just get this all detailed up. I think that's looking pretty cute. Okay, let's get our train lines hooked up. Okay, I think we need maybe a coffee shop, a little fencing, some more trees, and our train station will be complete. Okay, we definitely do not want inner city trains coming in here. We'll leave that for the downtown area, and let's pull our train lines into our new station. Final touches with some trees, and we will be finished with our historical train station. And people coming off from the first train. Oh, this is so satisfying. I love it. And already look at all the activity. I think a train station on this side of the city was needed because we have that large neighborhood right across the way, and they just have a tram on the waterfront. So I feel like regardless of us building up in this area, this was needed. That's so cool to see. Okay, let's finish this up. I was not expecting to see this train station this busy before we've even developed anything in this area. Well, I'm going to take this as a good omen. Let's get moving on to our main build. First thing I'm going to do is get down our road layout for our 55 plus community. Something that's always really important to me in my builds is recreational activity, i.e. walking paths, walking trails, places you can take the dog, go for a jog, go for a walk. And in this 55 plus community, I want to encompass the whole thing with this fabulous walking trail that you can get on at any point, get off at any point, or you could do the whole thing and stay active but close to home. I love the accessibility of having an awesome walking trail like this right outside your door. I want to keep the inside of this walking path very open, lots of green space that you could take advantage of, but all along the outside I want to line it with some foliage. All set up, now we can jump in and work on the full development of our 55 plus community. Very first thing I'm going to do is get in all the residents. And it was really important to me to make sure all the houses face inward on these streets. We really want to foster a community, and by facing all the houses in, that really accomplishes that. Now, Larry Skylines made this adorable asset for me. In this 55 plus community, it's only going to be electric vehicles, so I had him design this cute little parking lot for me with the fountain and the palm trees, and it's got a little place to park your bike. It's perfect. So there's going to be 9 blocks in total, I believe, in our 55 plus community. They're all going to be designed exactly the same way. And again, facing all the houses inward, fostering that community environment. And then I'm also going to make sure I create a little outdoor space with each house as well. We want low yard maintenance here. We're not looking for that, but we do want to, again, foster that kind of communication between neighbors. With keeping all of that in mind, I designed a palette for detailing all of these blocks exactly the same, and I'm really happy with it. I hope you like the look. Oh, and you will find Larry Skyline's workshop linked in the description below. He has lots of fun things like bicycle parking plazas, which we all really need now with all of our new pedestrian areas. Little finishing touch with the little bench here. I think this is so cute. I love how this turned out. I'm not happy with this street though. Much better. I like that. And look at all of our people coming to move into our new neighborhood. This is so fun. Okay, I've got a lot of work to do. I've got to design out the rest of these blocks.
conquered somehow. Oh, when I'm done, I would never think I'd be until now. But if I wait too long, I will be waiting. I bet the second chance will not be dating. I wanna hide away, but it be fading. I know the second chance will not be waiting. Have to persist. If I don't, I'll never know what I'll miss. Sometimes backfire, but I never had a vision like this. Vision like this, a vision like this. But I never had a vision like this. Vision like this, a vision like this. But I never had a vision like this. But if I wait too long, I will be waiting. I bet the second chance will not be dating. I wanna hide away, but it be fading. I know the second chance will not be waiting.
Wow, that took a long time, but I'm really happy with this. Oh, and here's a quick look at the little utility area I built out.
I know the second chance will not be waiting.
55 plus communities in America, usually you're lucky if you see like a community center, maybe a pool or a rec center or some sort of community. Usually it's just very similar to suburban sprawl, but what I want to do is create a whole city. I want all of our retirees to have everything that they need in a walking distance, accessible, right here in the middle of their village. I'm also going to put in some of the high density apartment buildings you see here. These are going to be for independent living. Essentially, everyone will have their own apartments, but there's a nurse handy and someone cooks your meals for you. In the real world, to retire somewhere like this would be so expensive. Even not so great retirement places are like really expensive, but we get to make the rules here, and this is for regular folks and it's affordable for everybody. As you can see, I've already started to kind of figure out where I want our main services, done a touch of detailing, some fence work, just trying to get a feel of how I'm going to fit everything in this small space, because I do want to provide everything for our citizens. And you'll notice I have 2 medical clinics here. We're going to call one a dentist office and one a medical clinic. That just makes sense to me. So I'm going to jump in and just try to see if we can really, in this small space, create a miniature city. It's going to be a really fun challenge. I know I've already mentioned fostering a community a lot, but for everyone, they are not going to have the luxury of having family to help out. So if you are involved in part of the community, then they can step in and fill that gap and be the support you need. All right, now that we have our basic services covered, I'm going to go ahead and get our high density independent living put in. We're going to use the wall to wall, this kind of mid-size high density. I love that we have something that's like in the middle now in the game, and I love how colorful these buildings are. They're just going to be a really fun to play with. Okay, we have our basic services covered. We have our independent living put in. Now's the fun part. I'm gonna start adding grocery stores and coffee shops and bowling alleys and bars and green space. This is just gonna be really fun to dive in and see if I can't turn this little spot into a thriving, bustling little city. I love that these tennis courts fit perfectly in the middle. What a fun thing to have at the center of this community. Love it. Now, usually you won't see these 55 plus communities next to like an independent living facility next to what we're going to build later on, which is a dementia village. But my thought is having all this within the same proximity and trying to keep some of the design the same. If someone were to come here as they progress, as they need more care, as they age, there would be familiarity there. There would be a sense of comfort almost, because a lot of times what happens is people just get shuffled around to all these different places. And I think creating some stability and some really, like I said, that kind of community will help as someone ages and they can essentially stay right in the same neighborhood. So as everyone ages and everyone needs different levels of care, the community is still close, so it's still easy to visit with your friends. What's going on here? Not enough educated workers. Oh my. We got education problems. All right, well, let's build a private school. And the unplanned build ends up being really fun. So this is not a private school in the way that you think of. This is for disadvantaged youth. We've got housing covered, food covered, everything's by scholarship. It's for any youth in our city. They can come from all over, which is convenient because the train is right here, but they can live here on campus. What a fun build. Okay, now we should be able to get back to completing our 55 senior living village. Not intended in filling in the space in between our 55 park and the train station, but now that we have the school here, I put in this lovely pedestrian path that's getting used and it's really nice. But if you know me, this space is just calling out to be filled in as a whole entire park. So we're gonna do that and then we'll get back to finishing our 55 plus village. I think this little park turned out pretty cute, and what a nice walk to our train. So those of you who follow my stuff know that I'm obsessed with making pedestrian-friendly cities, and this build, it's similar. We're making an enclosed city. It's very walkable, especially once we get to the Dementia Village, which I'll talk about once we get over there. We're going to do that next. However, the reason that this build was so important to me was because I helped take care of my grandmother after she suffered a stroke. Not to bring the mood down, but seeing that up close and just going through the whole process and just realizing how much you really need someone to advocate for you, especially if you've lost your ability to speak, or just the lack of memory. And then also I could just see on her face when she couldn't quite grasp that bit of memory that she was looking for, and you could tell she was frustrated with herself. And just, you know, going through that close up with her, that whole experience, you know, taking care of her, was just eye-opening. And then there came a point where her care moved beyond what family could do, and then going through that whole process of, you know, finding a place for her and the right care, and just realizing how expensive that all is. Like, and just, you know, regular retirement is so expensive, you know, but if you need help, and it was super eye-opening for me. So going through that just really inspired me. She has been a front of mind this whole time when I'm doing this build. She was a nurse her whole entire life and very fiercely stubborn and independent. I think that's where I get that from myself. But yeah, so this build means a lot to me. I think that everyone should retire with dignity, and it's really hard to do these days, especially when you are just living off Social Security, which is all that she had. So there's a lot of challenges to come later on in life, and so I think experiencing that just kind of really made me think about this build a lot differently. And especially once we get over to the Dementia Village, I'm very excited about that, and it's good to know that there are places like that that are starting to develop. So hopefully we can see change happen. That was so much fun to detail, and it took a lot of time. Okay, so I wanted to have a mini bus, one going in each direction, that just goes around our square here. I don't know how highly it will get used, but just again thinking about, you know, those who are retired, maybe they can't walk as far, so then being able to, you know, at every block there will be a bus stop, so, and that you can go either direction. So I think that'll be really useful for this little senior village as a whole. So let's put some fun little colors on here, and I think one bus will be enough, and let's do the mini buses and get this going. Okay, let's see how our buses are doing. Oh, there's a little bit of usage on here. This is great. Well, that makes me so happy. Okay, I think we could do 2 buses per line. There's a little bit of action there. That's fantastic. I didn't know if anyone would even use it, and people are using it. That makes me so happy. Now on to the main build of the day, even though it's probably the smallest build, is our Dementia Village. Let me get this road layout in, and then we are gonna talk about it. Purpose behind a dementia village, and yes, these are real places that do exist, is choice. When you are starting to decline and lose your memory, most of the time you are put into a facility, you're in with a bunch of other people, you do have your own room, but you all eat the same food together. You all listen to the same music in the joint room. You all watch the same movie. I know this because I used to teach senior exercise class in another lifetime. And so there's not much choice. You can stay in your room, you can decide what you want to watch on your TV, but you are stuck with doing what everyone else is doing. And as you age, your quality of life is really important, and that power of choice is really important. And I think there is something really beautiful about these dementia villages because it provides a safe environment for you to age with dignity and also still have a life. Like it's I've been in quite a few of these types of facilities, and it's sad, and there is it's not to say that they're not good, because there are some really good ones out there, and there is some community there, and you get to go sit and chat with your friends that you've made there. But the cool thing about a dementia village is you have more choice, and you feel independent, and you still have a life. So the way a dementia village is designed is there is your home, which you share with anywhere from 4 to 7 other people, and then there's a caregiver there, of course, but you have your own room, and then there is like a shared kitchen, but it's very similar to growing up in a household, so it feels very familiar. Then you have your garden space that's just for the people in the house. This is really important. So you can decide to stay in your room, you can go to the communal area of the house, or you can go outside to the garden. So you have those choices. And the beautiful thing about a dementia village is it really goes beyond that. Then you can decide to go out into the public square. And the way that these dementia villages are able to operate safely and allow everyone so much choice is because everyone that works in the village is actually a trained specialist. So whether you're the person working at the grocery store or barber shop, they are trained. So it's kind of like a good version of, what was that, The Truman Show, if you want to think about it that way. You're going to get back to our dementia village in a minute because still a lot to do there. So what I'm building out here is a neighborhood. So when we look at the type of specialized employees we are going to need for the dementia village, but also our center, our whole school for disadvantaged youth, we might need to attract people from other towns. So there is housing provided. So this is a neighborhood for the workers who are either working at the dementia village and the school for disadvantaged youth. And I just love the idea of providing that type of a benefit for being an employee at one of these places. It's not something you see often, but again, we're making the rules here, so we are going to do our best to attract the right kind of employees that we need for these facilities for the city. All right, now we get to jump in and detail the dementia village. I've gotten a little head start, did about half of it off camera, was just taking my time, having fun with it. If you guys follow me at all, you know I'm obsessed with detailing. So there is something really important with detailing this dementia village. You can see on each little corner here, I've got something a little different. It's important when you're thinking of people with cognitive memory issues that you need to make sure places look unique enough so there's some sort of marker that they can remember, especially when you're giving them more freedom like this to move around. So in each corner you will see I've really tried to design the areas here of our town square so they look distinctly different. I am so incredibly happy with how this whole little Dementia Village came together. All right, we need to get some naming done. I'm actually going to go with Hope U here. This is going to be our K through 12, our school for disadvantaged youth. And then my grandmother's name was Peggy, and like I said, she was a nurse her whole entire life, and so I'm going to call this area Peggy's Memorial Park. Remember, this is our little neighborhood where housing is provided for workers of not only our school, but also our Dementia Village. We're going to take off recreational routes. We're going to put smoking ban here. What else do we want? Let's lower the taxes for these buildings. And high-rise ban, heavy traffic ban, encourage biking. And then where is the free Wi-Fi? I think I saw it earlier. And free Wi-Fi. There we go. Okay, we'll just go with retirement homes, and then we'll do 55 plus. That's easy. Joyful Gardens, Dementia Village. Perfect. Now I've got a couple houses to give specific names to. This may or may not be grandparent names of a certain 5 builders and then of a certain 6 builders that I'm connected to. And anyone who I missed, I am so sorry. And when you get the save next, you're welcome to claim a house for your grandparents if I missed you. So let me just fill these in. Okay, I was noticing there are a lot of people going across this bridge, which isn't a bad thing. I like walkers and bikers. That's what we want to see. Wow, okay, yeah, that's a lot. And yeah, that's what I thought was happening. And then they're all going over to the train station. Interesting. Yeah, because this neighborhood, this Ivy District in Heather Park, really is lacking in public transportation. There's this lovely tram along the water. that you can take to get into downtown. If you were to come off the tram here, yeah, you would just walk over the train station. That's pretty convenient. Looks like we've got a bus depot here. I wouldn't want to put a bus going out there. I don't think that would make much sense. What's going on with this? Oh, whoa, okay. Wow. Let's see, Pink Line, where do you go? Oh, out to the park. Yes, to the park. Well, we do need a bus going out to the park. I think we could just go one large shuttle bus out there. Let's do that. Okay. I am going to ask the 5 builders if I can bring in some metro because I think that might make the most sense. I've been granted permission. I always want to ask, this is not my city. Okay, so I'm going to take a metro from the central station right here, bring it down to the Ivy district and over to our train. I feel like that's going to help tremendously. The other thing I got permission to do was for the entire city to put on the encourage biking policy, which, you know, I'm obsessed with cycling. And then what I'm going to do is kind of go through and make a couple key bike connections that I see that are missing that I think could be highly utilized. So let's get to it. Okay, policies, encourage biking on, perfect. Now, where to put the metro station? Oh, there's a little empty spot right here. And this is a hospital, right? I believe so, yes. Okay, this would be perfect. Let's make a little room right here. And what a nice addition to the neighborhood. If you're gonna have a loud metro stop, you might as well have a coffee shop there. So that's how we'll ask for forgiveness from the neighborhood. Okay, now to put our metro near our train. One thing I noticed is we had a couple little buildings over here complaining about noise. So I thought if we did a little tree-lined street through here, that might help a smidge, hopefully. So I added a couple trees too that seemed to help with a few of the buildings, but there's still a couple people who are just a little unhappy with the noise. But, you know, you chose to live there, so I don't know what to tell you. Okay, I just want to make a couple little connections for the bike network. So I'm going to come through here. Let's just scooch this over. Oh, it's the little fence. We're just going to move you over just the teeniest bit. And then we're going to come through here. So we're, again, connecting up to where that metro is. So that's going to be really helpful. So that's good. And then I think over here, we've got this bike road that comes over and then it just kind of ends. I feel like we could, now that we have the encourage biking policy on, I feel like we could pull a bike road through here. I feel like that would be really helpful. So let's upgrade this here. Uh-oh. If I just move it, will it let me know? And I am not a mod person. Seriously, I play with like 3 mods, so that's also been like an adventure with this build for me. So, okay, so maybe someone else can fix that at some point. Somebody with some skills. I don't want to mess that up. Okay, so then our bike is coming all the way through here. You know, they can hop off their bike and walk the little tiny bit. It's fine. Okay, and then I think we might as well continue here and then meet back up. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so that really helps facilitate more biking in the Ivy and Heather districts. That was something I was playing with earlier. And there's not really a good way to get the bike down to the tram, so I think you just hop off your bike and walk. I feel like that is feasible because there's not really a way I can upgrade those tiny roads, so we will leave that. You are still unhappy. I don't know what to tell you. Try to add a couple more trees, maybe that'll help. I don't know. I don't want anyone to be sick. Why'd you move there if you don't like loud noises? Okay, last little bike connection. We need a way for bikers to easily get to this bridge because we know this bridge is getting highly utilized. Even though we put in the metro, I'm sure it will still get heavily used. So let's just wind a little bike path to here, and then they can easily get across the bridge. Okay, I think we are in a good shape. Let's see how, just curious now, although the game hasn't been running that long, but I'm curious if there's any difference with, I feel like that's lightened up a little bit, but that's fine. And now we see our cycle routes being used more, which is great too. So all in all, I think this is a positive. And our metro is starting to get used, so I think this was a good addition. Hopefully the city agrees. I almost forgot, I did want to fit in a cemetery somewhere, and I feel like this little corner back here would be perfect. So let's redo this area of our park. And there are tons of people walking across this bridge over here as well, but this one isn't as pedestrian friendly because they have the two roundabouts unlike the other bridge. So I think some nice little walking paths here will help, and then we will detail up this little interchange a little bit. This actually ended up working perfectly because guess what's right here? Our bike road, so we can bring it right to here and have it terminate at that path. Perfect. If you're like me and you love a good public transit episode, you're gonna like this video right here. I hope you all have a joyful day, and I'll catch you next time.